So what's next for the New York Knicks? They just lost to the AC to Miami Heat in 6 games. If I had to say it, I think this is a successful season for this team. They did better than they did last year. I believe last year they got bounced in the first round in 5 games. They also were able to identify that their best player is Jalen Brunson, who was their all-season pickup, probably the best pickup of the offseason. With them identifying that he is their new best player, I think it's time for them to move on from Julius Randle. I think a lot of New York Knicks fans are calling for it. I will say that I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm just a outsider looking in, so I have no skin in the game at all. But I think it's time for them to move on from Julius Randle. As you see, he's been kind of up and down. Even though he made an All NBA team, which is kind of crazy, I think he deserved it. But I think his energy for this team is just off. He takes terrible shots. His body language is bad. He doesn't always try on defense. I think if he gives a honest effort all the time on defense this entire series, I think they at least force a game 7. There were times where I don't remember if it was this season or not this season, this series or the first series. They actually were going with Obi Toppin more over him. I think Tom Thibodeau was trying to be a little low key about it. You know, he wasn't trying to make it completely obvious, but I think there were times where Obi Toppin even finished the game over Julius Randle in wins. I want to say that was definitely the first series. I don't know if Obi Toppin is necessarily the answer. I don't know if he will be your starting power forward moving forward. Probably not. I don't think he's that on a playoff team, but I do think they need to go into a different direction. Julius Randle is a valuable player. He's a good NBA player. I just don't think he's the right fit for this team. Also, I don't think that winning a championship with Jalen Brunson as your best player will be a thing. So don't get me confused on that. I think that they need to build this team going forward with Jalen Brunson in mind. Obviously, they had this team built before he got here, and then they signed him in the offseason. You know, there's not much you can do at that point. But now that you know how good of a player he can be, and he can still probably be even better, I think you go out and get possibly another star with the assets that you have in your draft picks, young guys like RJ Barrett, who played a decent playoffs this year. Not terrible. Honestly, he impressed me, went above my expectations. But I think it's time to cash in. I think it's time for a star in New York, honestly. I know all the time people are like, you know, the New York Knicks need a superstar. They need a superstar. I think this is the first year where I can agree it's time to cash in and go get that superstar. Now, who will that guy be? I'm not sure. Hopefully, it's some type of larger wing. Maybe I don't even want to go back to the power forward route with Julius Randle. I think you have to go get a big wing next to to Jalen Brunson. But honestly, there's really not much out there. So if they stand pat, I won't be mad at that either. If they keep Julius Randle, I won't be mad. I think RJ Barrett can improve as well. I don't know if he'll be ever like a superstar level, but who knows? I mean, he was a number 3 overall pick, so he should have some type of potential to get to that point. Now, I do want to touch on this series as a whole. While I'm not surprised that the Miami Heat won this series, I will say there were some things from Tom Thibodeau that shocked me. Like, first and foremost, that even though they couldn't hit a shot to save their life outside of Jalen Brunson, they still never went to like giving Evan Fournier a try or giving Derrick Rose a try. If you're a New York Knicks fan, I'm pretty sure you remember that Derrick Rose was their best player in that series. I want to say that was last year. I'm pretty sure it was last year against the Atlanta Hawks. He was their best player. Like, no doubt about it. No ifs, ands, or buts. No nostalgia stuff. He was their best player. So to have him sit on the bench, even though he was out of the rotation for most of this year, to not even give him a shot is crazy. To not even give Evan Fournier a shot is crazy. These were key contributors for you just last season. Like, a lot of teams this year in the playoffs, you've seen it. They go with guys who were not getting many minutes for them. On the other side of them, the Miami Heat gave Duncan Robinson a shot in that Bucks series. He got a couple minutes here and there, came in and hit some shots, got his confidence back. Then they went to him more when it got to this series. Like, he was getting DNPs all year long. Like, half of the season he was getting DNPs. And then he comes into the playoffs and he's a key contributor because Eric Spoelstra gave him a chance. Another example, the Los Angeles Lakers. Lonnie Walker was a key contributor early on in the season prior to trades. The trades happen. He gets hurt around the same time. He falls out of the rotation. the Lakers end up needing a spark against the Golden State Warriors because their energy level just isn't something that they can sustain because LeBron is older, AD, has a lot of miles on his body. So who do they go to? They throw him in there off the bench. He comes in and gives them a huge spark, 15 points in the fourth quarter. Like, just being able to try those things and not be afraid of those things as a coach are huge, especially because you're showing, yo, I still have faith in you, even though I haven't been able to get you into the rotation. I think Derrick Rose and Evan Fournier are veterans in this league, and they will be ready when their number is called. So to not even give them a shot, I just thought was a little disappointing, honestly. I'm not saying they would have came in and done half of what Duncan Robinson or Lonnie Walker was able to do, but at least like trying to spark some new life into the series. Like that type of energy shift could win you a series, quite honestly. All in all, like I said earlier, I do think that this was a successful season for the New York Knicks, and I think they have a lot of options. They have a lot of flexibility going forward with their future. I think going into this offseason, they should be very optimistic about their ability to improve going into next season. They can go many different routes, many different routes. Their front office will be able to pick from plenty of scenarios. They have flexible contracts to trade. They have a lot of like $10 to $20 million range contracts. They can make a lot of decisions. I'm optimistic and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next season. But that's it for this one. If you enjoyed it and made it this far, why not leave a like? Possibly subscribe. Until next time, appreciate you for watching.